Commas and relative clauses can be tricky, but once you grasp the basic rules, it becomes much easier to navigate. Let's dive right in. First, let's talk about restrictive clauses. These are essential to the meaning of the sentence. They provide necessary information that helps identify the noun they modify. For example, consider this sentence: "The book that I borrowed from you is fantastic." Here, "that I borrowed from you" is a restrictive clause. Without it, we wouldn't know which book we're talking about. Notice there are no commas. That's because we need this information to understand the sentence fully. Now, let's flip the script and discuss non-restrictive clauses. These clauses add extra information but aren't essential to the main point of the sentence. For instance, "My sister, who lives in New York, is visiting next week." The clause "who lives in New York" gives us additional details about my sister, but if we removed it, the sentence would still make sense. "My sister is visiting next week." Here, we use commas to set off the non-restrictive clause, indicating that it's extra information. To help you remember, think of non-restrictive clauses as removable. If you can take the clause out and the sentence still stands strong, you need those commas. On the other hand, if the clause is crucial for understanding, it's restrictive and should not be set off by commas. Let's look at a couple more examples. Incorrect. "The car that is parked outside is mine." Correct. "The car which is parked outside is mine." In this case, if we say "the car is mine," it still makes sense without the extra detail about where it's parked, so we use commas. Another example. Incorrect. "The students who study hard will pass the exam." Correct. "The students who study hard will pass the exam." Here, the clause "who study hard" is non-restrictive. It adds information but isn't necessary to identify which students we're talking about. A good tip to keep in mind is to ask yourself, is this information essential? If yes, it's restrictive and you skip the commas. If no, it's non-restrictive and you add those commas. Remember, practice makes perfect. Try writing your own sentences and identifying the clauses. Over time, you'll develop an instinct for when to use commas with relative clauses. So, keep writing, keep experimenting, and soon enough, you'll master the art of punctuation.